Stop limiting the potential that I've been putting inside of you. See, I loved my life for such a long time, limiting what God has been doing inside of me or what God has placed inside of me. Until I got that awakening about 2 to 3 years ago. I've been living such a great part of my life until that revelation, that awakening hit me. And I started realizing that there is so much more to life. There is so much more to my potential. But unless I step up, I'm never going to realize that potential. And unless you step up, you're never going to realize the potential that you have. Welcome back to another episode of Insights with Vinny Mac. My name is Vince, aka Vinny Mac. Thank you very much for joining me for another episode, another insight. I really love having you here. I really hope that you're getting value from the insights that I've been sharing on my channel. If you haven't yet, please by all means do subscribe to the channel, like the content, drop me your comments. I would love to hear from you, and I would definitely give you feedback as well based on your comments. Okay, I was taking a walk today around the block and I passed by this lemon tree, and we've got like countless lemon trees here in my particular part of South Africa. But I was walking around and like I said, I came across this lemon tree and I couldn't help but notice, all the lower laying fruits were all picked already, and it was just the fruits on the higher levels that were still available. You see, people mainly when they come past, they will go for the fruits on the lower levels because they're easier, they're more accessible. Now, I'm not too sure if it's the same with lemons, but I remember with the apricots growing up as a child in terms of the apricots and the peaches, because we used to have a lot of apricot and a lot of peach trees in our neighborhoods. The higher you tended to climb that tree, the better the fruits were at the top of the tree, I remember my grandmother always shouting and saying, "You're going to fall out of a tree, you're going to break your neck." But we just didn't pay attention. We didn't pay attention to all the obstacles and all the hazards, and we just climbed up that tree with so much spirit and enthusiasm because we knew the better tasting fruit was always higher up on the trees. And that is a lot like life, that is a lot like our journey through life. I remember when I finished up with school and I was entering the job market, when I looked at advertisements in the newspapers, because back then we didn't have online, we had the newspapers. So when I looked at advertisements in the newspaper, now I would always systematically and strategically look for the entry-level positions. You didn't really need much qualifications and much experience. So those are always the jobs that I was targeting to get into. Okay, only later on in life I started realizing that, as much as I stood a good opportunity of getting those jobs because I was aiming low, there were countless other people also aiming for that very same job because of the low barrier of entry. And that is the fundamental of our lives. We're always aiming low because of the low barrier of entry. And we don't want to raise that level to go to the next one because we don't believe that we are capable of going to the next level. Kind of like reminds me of a guy in the Bible that, whose story I've been reading up on recently. And it was an eye-opener reading his story, because you see, back in the day after Joshua had just passed away and the Israelites were now living in the land, in the promised land, they were constantly being attacked, especially by the Midianites. The Midianites were keeping them under pressure, they were keeping them underground. And the Israelites were like hiding away in caves and hiding away far away so that they could be out of reach of the Midianites. And one particular Israelite went by the name of Gideon. Now when Gideon was approached by the Lord to rise up and to go out there and fight the Midianites, he said, "Lord, my tribe is the smallest tribe of all the tribes in Jerusalem, in Israel. And my clan is the smallest clan within that particular tribe. And my family is the least of that particular clan. And in my family, I am the least in my particular family. So how can you call me to rise up and to go and fight your battle for you?" The Lord saw something in Gideon that Gideon didn't even see in himself. And that is the same thing that is existing with you right now. There's something wonderful inside of you that you're not even acknowledging yourself, that God has placed inside of you. But so many times, so often we get distracted by these big prospects and these big asks of the world around us. You need to have qualifications, you need to have experience, you need to have money, you need to have boldness, you need to be able to speak eloquently. Man, just show up, take action. You never know what is possible unless you're willing to try. Gideon went against the Midianites with 300 men. God strategically cut his army. You need to read that particular story in the Bible. It's a powerful story found in the book of Judges. Amazing story. How through faith, how through following God, Gideon went with 300 men and he overcame, I think it was 20 or 30,000 Midianites 20 or 30, yeah, or 300,000 Midianites. So I can't remember the exact numbers, but the fact is, with the least amount, with what he regarded as the least, being the least in his tribe, he went up and he raised up, and he went and he attacked, and he became a mighty man of valor. And that is what God is saying to you right now. I've raised you up to be a mighty woman or a mighty man of valor. Stop limiting the potential that I've been putting inside of you. See, I loved my life for such a long time, limiting what God has been doing inside of me, or what God has placed inside of me. Until I got that awakening about 2 to 3 years ago. I've been living such a great part of my life until that revelation, that awakening hit me. And I started realizing that there is so much more to life. There is so much more to my potential. But unless I step up, I'm never going to realize that potential. And unless you step up, you're never going to realize the potential that you have. Yes, we're going to face fears, we're going to face doubts, we're going to say, I don't know if I really can do this. And that's okay. Acknowledge it. Say, you know what, I'm scared. I'm scared inside. I don't know if I can do this. But I'm going to try. I'm going to try no matter how hard it is, no matter how impossible it is. I'm going to give it a go and see where it takes me, see where the road leads me. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. I love that expression these days, When something is impossible, I just take a step and I try, I show up. If I fall flat on my face, if I'm embarrassed, humiliated, it's okay. Pick myself up, I dust myself off, and I go again. And that is what we're supposed to be doing in life. We're supposed to be going again continuously. So I want to share with you 7 steps to help you with, overcoming doubt and insecurities and help you reach for that higher levels in life. Building up your confidence. And these are 7 steps that I got from the late, great Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. This is someone that I truly admire in this particular field, in this particular sphere. And one person that actually used these principles of Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, these 7 steps of confidence, is a gentleman by the name of Steve. Steve came from an insecure background. He was ridiculed, he was laughed, he used to have a stuttering problem. You should really go ahead and listen to his story. He's got so many shares on YouTube with regards to his particular story, his particular journey. And how Steve overcame all those obstacles to become the man that the world is so familiar with these days, Mr. Steve Harvey. If he could do it, if he could overcome all those obstacles in his life, there's nothing that is stopping you or me from overcoming the obstacles in our lives. You see, if somebody else done it already, that is proof of concept, that it is possible. We're always looking for proof of concept. Well, there's so much proof of concept out there. So stop making excuses. Your victory lies on the other side of your excuses. That is something that I've taught myself, and I keep saying it over and over, especially when I'm coaching or mentoring someone. Your victory lies on the other side of your excuses. So use these 7 steps. I have to tweak them a bit to make them more applicable for the modern age, to modern times, but they're still based on the principles by the late great Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. So I've written them down, so I'm going to read them for you quickly, and then you can apply these principles to your life. And I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to hear your thoughts with regards to this. Okay, are you ready? Let's dive into it. The first principle Dr. Norman Vincent Peale speaks about, he says, create a mental picture of yourself as being successful. That is so powerful, because most of us can't even picture ourselves as having success. Most of us don't even have a definition of what success is, because for the greater part of our life we've been told that success is having money, having lots of money. That's part of success, but that is not the only thing that success comes down to. There are so many spheres in your life that you need to address, that you need to make sure that you are successful in all of these spheres. Your relationships, your spirituality, your emotional, your physical health, all of these requires success. So start seeing yourself as being successful in all of these different spheres of your life. Okay, the second step that I talked about there is stop building up obstacles in your imagination. I remember when I used to apply for work, when I just started out, I used to look at, I don't have these qualifications, I don't have the experience, so I'm not going to apply. I kept putting obstacles in my way. But you know what, if I had known back then what I know now, I would have applied for all of those posts. Who knows, I might have even gotten an interview. Who knows, you might actually get an interview right now. You might actually start a business, even though you don't have a cent to your name. Stop building up obstacles and let your imagination run free, and just take the risk. Just step outside in boldness. The next step is stop being awestruck by people. Stop thinking that, I'm not that person. I cannot do what that person did. Who cares? You're not supposed to be that person. You're supposed to be you. You're supposed to show up as you. God says you are fearfully and wonderfully created. He says, I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you hope and a future. And the God of the universe set up a specific plan for you. It is your responsibility to show up daily and start walking towards that particular plan that He has in place for you. And if you do, I am telling you with absolute certainty and confidence that you will achieve and aspire to reach, or that you will reach that life that you're aspiring to reach. So have the faith, have the confidence, stop looking at other people, start looking at your own life and start deciding where you are. Make the intention of getting yourself from where you are to where you want to be. The next step is get yourself a competent counselor or someone that can help you understand your origins and your doubts and your fears. In my case, in terms of the online sphere, I got myself a competent mentor that could take me through the steps and the rigmaroles of the online sphere that give me a broader understanding and a broader desire or practical skills to get me through to the next level. So whatever it is for you, get someone that has done it before, that can show you the way, because by speaking with them, engaging with them, interacting with them, and picking their brain consistently, you're going to develop that confidence that's going to help you move past your doubts, past your fears in life. So step number 5, practice good affirmations. Personally, I do declarations over my life. I take biblical scriptures and then I declare those scriptures over my life. But you can practice good affirmations. There are some very good affirmations especially from past mentors that really got great affirmations that you can read up on and check. I know Joseph Murphy's affirmations are brilliant, and this was someone from the, I think, late 40s, late 60s. Not too sure, you can just double check that as well. And then Dr. Norman Vincent Peale also got some powerful affirmations as well. So step back in time as well and find affirmations that really are aligned with you on a deeper level. Then step number 6, make an estimate of what you think of yourself and then raise that estimate by 10%. If you say this is what I'm capable of, then you know what, raise it by 10%. Stop limiting yourself. Start pushing yourself to levels beyond what you are comfortable with. Stop pushing yourself to levels beyond what you thought you are capable of. And pretty soon you might find yourself actually hitting those levels. And even if you miss them, you would have raised the bar already by so much that you're going to start feeling that confidence to say, you know what, no matter that, even though I didn't reach that level, I can still push higher. So start making an estimate of yourself and then pushing that a level up 10% up higher. And the very last one is, start putting trust in God, putting your faith and your trust in God. In the morning when I wake up, I say, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will be glad and rejoice this day. I put my faith and I put my trust in God, and I know that no matter what comes my way, because God's sun shines on the just and the unjust alike, I'm going to have good and I'm going to have bad happening in my day. At the end of the day, I have the power to decide how that affects me. And that power comes from the fact that I put my trust in God. I don't try to deal with the circumstances on my own. Yes, there are times when I do try to deal with it on my own and it doesn't work out too well. And very quickly I remember and I realize, put your trust in God. So I hope you take these 7 steps because they will really help you grow your confidence in terms of your walk, in terms of your development. And I would love to hear from you. What did you think about this particular insight? Do you find value in this particular one? Will you try these particular principles? Will you try these steps? Will you try and just build that confidence within your life and start reaching for higher in your life? Stop going for the low-lying fruits. Reach for the higher level fruits, because I guarantee you they taste much, much better. Doesn't matter what your walk is, what your aspect is. Aim for higher in life. Alright, I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to hear your thoughts. Drop me your comments. And like I said, if you haven't yet, please do subscribe, because on this channel, I provide you with insights from a godly perspective as well as from a coaching perspective. Bring the two together and I give you the best of both worlds. So do like the content. Let us show YouTube that you are serious about growing yourself, about developing yourself. This is Vinnie Mac saying, change your thinking, change your world.